All right, welcome to your daily debrief from Make X Great. Let's jump right in and take a look at what really got people talking on X yesterday, August 20th. So let's set the scene. Yesterday was Wednesday, and wow, it was this wild mix of things. We're talking mind-blowing AI art, some super surprising real-world tech use, and some pretty heavy global conversations all happening at once. Okay, so what were the big three? First, a total explosion of AI art just flooded everyone's timeline. Then, a Cybertruck showed up, doing a job you probably wouldn't expect. And on a more serious note, a major hurricane had the entire East Coast watching closely. Let's kick things off with that creative surge. So first up, yesterday the platform kind of felt like walking through a giant, buzzing digital art gallery. And the reason for all this? Just pure, unleashed AI creativity. The hashtag Grok Imagine was everywhere. People were really getting their hands on Grok, X's own AI tool, and just running with it. They were making these incredible images and videos, everything from bringing old photos to life with animation to creating these full-blown virtual fashion shows for contests. It was just this huge wave of people making cool stuff. And we're not talking about a small trend here. The scale was just nuts. Over 100,000 posts used that hashtag in a single day. So yeah, this wasn't some niche thing. It really showed how fast this community can grab a new tool and turn it into this massive, platform-wide event. But, it wasn't all just fun and games. The whole conversation around AI started to get a lot deeper, touching on some really, really profound stuff. And this is where things got fascinating. Reports started popping up on X that these super advanced AI models might be proving brand new mathematical theorems. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about crunching numbers faster. We're talking about AI actually coming up with new ideas in a field like mathematics. As you can imagine, that sparked some major excitement and a ton of debate in the tech and academic worlds. Okay, so while all this futuristic AI excitement was happening, the actual day-to-day experience for users on the platform, well, that was a little more of a mixed bag. And this next part really shows you the two sides of that coin. On one side, you had this totally organic, awesome excitement over a post showing a Cybertruck, get this, being used for gas station inspections. But on the flip side, you had some very real frustration from creators, the folks who depend on X for their income, because they were seeing these major delays in their ad revenue payments. And that Cybertruck post didn't just do well, it absolutely exploded. We're talking over 7 million views. And you can see why it resonated, right? It took this Cybertruck from this futuristic sci-fi thing and dropped it right into the real world as a practical tool doing a regular job. So yeah, on that other side of the coin, the big issue was this feeling of uncertainty for creators. That quote says it all, really. And to be fair, X support was seen jumping in and responding, saying they were working on a fix, but you could just feel the frustration. It was strong enough to get the whole topic trending. All right, moving on from the platform's internal goings-on, X was also, as it so often is, a huge mirror reflecting what was happening in the real world. And yesterday, the real world broke through in a big way. So how did it break through? Well, it was really two major developing stories that you just couldn't ignore. They really grabbed everyone's attention, especially in the US and Europe. First up was Hurricane Erin. As that storm got more intense, the platform instantly switched gears and became this essential public utility. Your timeline wasn't about memes anymore. It was filled with official alerts, storm tracking maps, and people sharing genuinely helpful advice. It was a perfect example of X working as a real-time public safety tool. And the other big story that really took over was a pretty serious development in an ongoing global conflict. So reports started surfacing that NATO leaders were talking about what role US and European forces might play in Ukraine. And wow, that topic just took off instantly. You had big names weighing in, everyday users jumping into the conversation, and it sparked some really intense, very polarized debates all over the platform. It was the global town square doing what it does, for better or for worse. So when you really take a step back and look at the whole day, yesterday on X was just this wild contrast. On one hand, you had this explosion of fun, joyful, creative energy with AI. And right next to it, you had these incredibly serious, high-stakes conversations about real-world crises. And that really leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? As all these tools on X for creating things and talking to each other just get more and more powerful, what is this platform's ultimate job? Is it supposed to be a playground for innovation? Or is it an essential tool for public safety and information? Or maybe, somehow, it has to be both at the same time. That's your snapshot of yesterday on X. We'll be back tomorrow to break down the latest. For more daily reports, make sure to subscribe and follow Make X Great.
The day